Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today's Wednesday webinar. Today, we are going to cover learning how to build out your product gallery by highlighting products and making your filtering capabilities better than ever. So, if you haven't noticed, our buyer adoption is at an all-time high. It's been amazing how many buyers are actually logging into the portal and learning how to place orders and shopping the product. So during today's webinar, we really want to cover how you can make your portal a little bit more buyer friendly and just manipulating it so that it's a little bit easier for the buyers to navigate and for them to place orders. Essentially, we really want this to mimic and embody an e-com experience. So the same e-com experience maybe that your consumers are getting for your brand, we really want to mimic that here in the wholesale environment. So to start, number one, merchandising your portal. So, by merchandising your portal, you really can direct the buyer's attention, right? You can focus on certain items, you can highlight bestsellers, you can focus on new product or whatever, or maybe product that you even need to sell off. But merchandising your portal is going to be one of the number one things that you can do to make your portal a little more buyer friendly. So to start, I'm right here inside of the wholesale portal, and I'm on the master line sheet tab. So using line sheets is a huge way, a really, really important way that will focus the buyer on certain items and obviously merchandise the portal. So, different ideas that you can do here, obviously create seasonal or delivery line sheets. Right here you have spring, summer footwear, right? And if I clicked into this, you'd have headers, and then the styles or the product in general would be displayed in a merchandise format the way that you're selling. So that way, if the buyer can log in, or if the buyer logs into the portal, they can follow along just like they would on a physical line sheet, okay? And through that, you can direct them through the product, through the story of the product, if you will, okay? Other ideas here are to create basically presentations, merchandise presentations of certain topics that you want to communicate to the buyer. So that could be, again, right here at the flash sale items or the top 20 bestsellers of March right here. But you can create little merchandise stories with these cover pages so they're visually enticing for the buyer, so that when they log in here, maybe they're trying to do a reorder at night or revisit the collection, they can easily pop right into, the styles that you're trying to focus them into. Right, so they're going to understand immediately by seeing that line sheet, oh, these are the best sellers, these are what I should shop first, right? So you're communicating to them through merchandising, the items that they should be focused on or maybe pay attention to, right? So number one way of merchandising is creating and really building out this line sheet tab, okay? Number two, in Browse All Products, you actually have the ability to determine the order of all of the products that are in this tab. So you want to make sure, obviously, that your latest products that you've just loaded, your latest season, is going to populate first at the top. Okay, so for those people that aren't creating line sheets or maybe skipping right over the line sheet tab and spending a lot of time in the product gallery, just an easy way to immediately focus the buyer is to make sure that the most recent product is at the top here, okay? And this is really easy to do. Basically, on your product data export, your Excel export, you would add a column that's called sort. And you numerically put in the numbers next to the products, and when you upload that product data, it's going to display in this all products gallery in that order. So again, here you want to make sure that you're focusing, or you're making sure that the product that you want to focus on is at the top. So that's what they see first. So those are two ways to make sure that your portal is merchandised properly. The next feature that I want to talk about is really making your portal a one-stop shop experience for the buyer, right? And you can do this by enhancing the product details. So if I click on the style on the right over here, you have all of the product details. It's really important to note that these are all customizable. We can continue to add as much information as you want, and it will appear here. But the goal is to make sure that you have all of the proper information populating here, that maybe you're being asked on a daily basis, right? So if you have buyers calling you frequently and they're constantly looking for fabrication or country of origin, maybe your measurements, you want to make sure that those populate here in the product details. So this becomes a hub of of all the information about the style, so that the buyer will find this really, really useful and continue to return to the All Products Gallery, return to this product record to reference some information that they might need for the style. This is incredibly useful for online accounts, right? Because they can get a lot of copy information from here, from the product details. And sometimes these can turn into just endless phone calls for very simple information. So the more information or product details that you want to populate here, we can 100% support it and do it. And you should work with your account manager to make sure this is built out properly. And just to note, I know I mentioned it, but a couple of custom fields or product details that are commonly added are country of origin, country of manufacture, fabrication, care details, measurements. All of those are very common custom fields that a lot of brands do add to this area here. Okay. The third feature that I wanted to talk about is making your filters mimic sort of your e-com site. So making the filters over here on the left side very applicable to your product, and making sure that they're working in such a manner that the buyer would be they're mimicking the way the buyer wants to search for product, right? So many brands will just leave the default filters, availability, season, department, category, but you can continue to actually build these out and make these customized. So right here, in our demo, we have shipping info is actually built out as a header, as a filterable field here. So we can continue to build these further. Many brands, what we could do is if men's and women's, the two gender profiles, if you want those built out as headers, so a buyer could click right into the men's or right into the women's, we can build that out. A lot of brands sometimes keep that in either department or the division header. But maybe it's more intuitive to make those their own filterable headers. We can easily do that on the Excel product data upload. Additionally, some other ideas are some brands, the classification, they feel like it's hidden within the category. So we can actually build that out here. So you could have pants and tops and outerwear as their own headers here, making it a little bit more intuitive or easier to filter through, and mimicking your e-com site. So it's totally up to you, but we can continue to build these out so you can navigate through product quicker, and it's just a little more intuitive and faster for the buyer. Because the whole purpose is for the buyer to jump in here. It's just like online shopping, right? So if they're looking for pants, if they're looking for a high-waisted pant, for example, it'd be really nice that they could click right into that, pant and then high-waisted and drill right into that product. So if you don't have your filters customized, I would definitely recommend connecting with your account manager and just talking through some of the ideas and requests that you have, and we can easily show you how to add these on your Excel data template. Another feature that I want to talk about are banners. So if you see on these styles here, we have product banners that are populating over the style. For this demo purpose, we've chosen the text here to be 20% off, but you can actually customize these banners to read any text that you want, right? And you would do that right here in the admin side of the portal. When you log into admin, if you scroll down, you'll see product banners right here. And if you click on product banners, you'll see that right here in this custom banner section, it gives you the option to create any custom banner that you want. Okay, so it's as easy as literally adding a new banner and typing in the text that you'd like to appear in that banner. So, in our demo portal, they have all of these. So really some great ideas are, staff favorite, limited edition, bestsellers, limited time only, maybe, as seen on this blogger or as seen on, a celebrity, whatever it may be. You can go on and make endless banners here. And then what you're going to do is apply the banner to the product. So you can do that two ways. One way, you can do that in the admin section by editing the product itself. You'll see an option right here to add the banner of your choosing by turning it on. Okay, and then all you do is save, and the banner is then applied to the product. If you're doing this to a ton of products at once, you can also do this in your product data export, so it can be done on Excel. Okay, so you want to go ahead and definitely use banners because, again, it's another way of highlighting the style to the buyer. It's another way of, communicating with the buyer the styles that they should be gravitating towards and noticing, right? So whether it's promotional or editorial, either way, it's important to use these because when the buyer's logging in here and this makes it very accessible for them to reorder and very efficient and very quick, but you want to make sure that they're reordering the right items, right? And they're not overwhelmed by all of the products. So this is a great way by using these banners to make your portal just easier, again, to navigate. Additionally, if you notice over here on the left, we can also make those banners into a custom filter. Very easy, very quick to do this. You can call your account manager and they can turn it on and create this for you. But this then would also give the buyer the ability to, filter by, the must-have items or, anything that had that banner. Okay, so they could filter by all the editorial or all the 20% off items. But yeah, this is a great way to use the filters and highlight product. Okay, another feature that I wanted to discuss today is just making reorders easier in general. One way to do that, obviously besides highlighting, bestsellers and promotional items so that the buyer will reorder into those styles, another way is to use our inventory settings, okay? So if you'll see here, you can see the inventory under every style, right? And most brands, almost all brands, are set for just the brand itself to see the inventory and the buyers have no visibility of the inventory. But we do have new settings, and if you go into admin and you scroll down to inventory settings right here, you can reference these. But we do actually have settings here that allow you now to show the buyer some inventory, right? So my favorite one right here is show low inventory count to buyers. So by setting this, maybe at, let's say 10 units, right? When the style drops below 10 units, all of a sudden those last few items can then appear to the buyer, right? So it gives them the opportunity to clean out some sizes, right? Maybe they continue to order a size 0 from you, but really you have quantities in size 2, and if they'd known that, maybe they would have placed the order there. So, it's just showing you right here that you have the ability to highlight to the buyer essentially the last few, the last few sizes to buy, the last few items, which again, creates demand, right? So it's communicating to them that this is almost sold out and this is what I have left, right? So it not only directs the reorder, but also sort of entices them, maybe because that style, only has a little bit left and they won't be able to get that again. So using these inventory settings, again, is another way to highlight products within your portal. And lastly, I wanted to talk about is the media tab. So over here, media gallery, a lot of, most brands choose to load lookbooks, right, into the media gallery and press. Great idea to do that. I mean, you can hotspot every item so it drills back to the product itself. But other ideas that, I'd love for everybody to start thinking about are adding other assets that you may have to this media tab, like product knowledge packets, like visual merchandising packets, right? Any of those tools that you've created for the brand to help sell, at the retail level should be loaded in here because those are great guides that a lot of your buyers can use to actually sell the product on the floor, right? So They're very helpful if you load, product knowledge guides in here. If you do have a buyer that maybe is going to do a product knowledge seminar or a trunk show, it's great for them to be able to log in on their iPad, pop up the product knowledge packet, and scroll through that while they're speaking, to their seminar, and have the actual asset in front of them, with its zooming capabilities and great imagery on the iPad. It's a really nice feature, and really great for a lot of those stores to have access to. The same thing with visual merchandising guides. You can load them here as well, right? And so if anybody needs to re-merchandise the floor, it's really easy and accessible for them to do so, because they can log in and see the pictures, on their web app, and then go ahead and maybe rework the tea stand or the table or whatever face out that they have to, re-merchandise. So those are, that's today's webinar. I hope it was helpful for everybody. And again, if you would like to turn on any of those features and you need a little bit more guidance to do so, just go ahead and contact your account manager, and then we can get everything enabled for you. So thanks everybody for joining, and talk to you soon.